lightning.
Yes, let's do your my. Oh, Dallas, that is good.
All
right.
My lightning.
My only lightning. Serious, ready?
It doesn't work as well. Does it? You make me happy when skies are gray. Oh yeah, because lightning comes out when it's gray, right? Yeah, there you go. Okay, you make me happy when skies are gray.
You'll never know, dear,
how much I love you. Please don't take my lightning away.
Woo! Dallas, look at how happy I am.
I see.
Look at how happy I am. I am so stoked about this. I know not everybody.
Pressure on my side.
A lot of pressure. Not everybody could stay on.
What?
Everybody's on, but we are recording this, guys. Remember that these are going to go out to the world. So don't say things you don't want mom to know about. I have seen Dallas like lightning. I have watched his work. I have felt what he has to teach. Not only can he get super fiery and like lightning bolt blasting, but he's also really gentle, loving, and very, very caring. I don't know which one he's bringing to you guys today.
Me neither.
I know some of the nuggets are actually what I was calling in. So I just had to laugh out loud when he shared like, hey, I could like give you this content. So Dallas has helped so many lives transform. He's spoken on many stages. He was even a spoken word performance artist, and he like specializes in helping you to excel and ignite your purpose and financially become super abundant. So Dallas, I'm going to let you take the show over. I'm going to be here like little Tweety Bird popcorn style that might say some things, but otherwise this is you. Alexa, can you make him the main speaker and not me?
Oh no. Big head. Damn, I need a tan. Jesus. Look like fucking Casper the Friendly Ghost over here. What is going on?
Or Italian too. What happened?
Halloween is over. I know. No idea. I used to actually have really darker olive tannish skin. I don't know. Must be some vitamin deficiency. The mung bean is gonna save me.
He's a mung beaner too, guys.
That just sounds so funny. I'm a mung. So a lot of this is just gonna be funny, but we're gonna try to get some actual fucking content out of here and support you. I can swear, right? I'm sorry. I didn't even ask.
Nope, you got it. It's your show,
okay.
guys. Right. Earmuffs if you don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I'll try not to be too excessive with it. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I grew up in the hood. Okay, so first thing that I would like to do is just honor Sara. So loving spirit fingers for rock star, goddess, angel, for bringing us all together, bringing us all together. She is a gift. Now, spirit fingers for yourselves, because you are a gift. You're all badasses. Heck yeah. I already love all of you. Appreciate and honored to be here. Spirit fingers for me, because I need it. I'm friggin'. I'm excited, but also there's so much energy coming through. So the next thing I want to do before we actually dig in is just to take three deep breaths together. Okay. This will help me to help you. All right. Help me help you. So just to help us ground, you're welcome to close your eyes, but you don't have to. Some have already, which is pretty epic. So I invite you to bring your shoulders, roll them a little bit just to see where they are. Where are my shoulders? Oh, look, here they are. Bring them up towards your ears, back down. So there's a natural open extension in your chest, so you can lead with your heart and then let your shoulders hang down naturally without straining. Feel that your shoulders are over your hip so that there's a nice straight alignment in the core of your body so that you can lift up towards the ceiling again without straining, but you can feel yourself balanced over your hips, lifting up. Strong. You're going to place your hands on your lap, palms facing up, because we are open and we are receptive. You're going to bring your chin just a micro bend down towards your chest so that the actual peak and actual crown of your head can be reaching up towards the heavens with a nice straight line in the back of your neck. So there is no kink in our energetic hose, and we are sitting like royalty, because that is what the fuck you all are.
Woo! Yeah.
And so we're going to take 3 deep breaths, one for the mind, one for body, one for spirit, because we are that. We are all things. We are deeply connected. There's no separation. And so we're going to breathe in 6 seconds through the nose and exhale 6 seconds out of the mouth. Breathing in now, breathing in. Holding for a moment and just exhale, nice and slow, even. As you pause at the bottom, just notice how your thoughts begin to settle like confetti. Everything slows just a bit. We're going to take that second breath, breathing in through the nose, letting the belly be soft, letting your body expand, filling up your whole body to stretch your capacity to receive more and more. Exhale slowly through the mouth. Notice that your nervous system softens. All of a sudden, your body relaxes just a little bit more, and you can physically feel yourself more present. We'll take a third and final breath, breathing in through the nose, this time the deepest you can go, drawing it over the back of the throat, down into the lungs, filling up so completely. Take an extra sip of air at the top and just hold for a moment. Feel yourself expand and stretch your capacity, every cell, all 10 trillion of them, just expanding and being more electric and more energized to hold you and all that you are receiving. And just exhale and let it go with a sigh if it feels good. Notice your spirit, your higher self, more centered, more present, so we can drive from this place. And we just give thanks. We give thanks for this golden moment. May everything that come through me be of service to you for your highest and greatest good, and the highest and greatest good for all. So it is, so it shall be. Aho, Ashe, Amen. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Let's fucking rock and roll.
Yeah.
First, what I would love to just, if you could, if you're capable and able and feel like it, you can just throw into the comments real quick your intention of being here with me. And you can just feel into it. Any word, whatever is true for the whole day, for right now, just throw in a word. And if you can't type, you can just, unmute real quick and just say it. I don't have too much clutter. Ooh, remembering. I like it. Opening. I am a priority. Yes, you are.
That's Alexa, by the way.
Cool.
Second Sara Morell.
Cool. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Awesome. I am powerful. Amen. Amen. Confidence. Cool. I hope to support all of that. So thank you. I don't know. How would you, is there any particular way you want me to start, Sarah?
This is your show now. I'm just here to support.
Okay. So I was when I first grew up, I grew up poor. So I'm sure maybe Sarah or yourselves at some time in your life, or maybe previous speakers have taken you through some process of looking at your beliefs around money. Can I get a show of hands? Has that happened at all? Discussions around okay, cool. Awesome. So I thought that, so we won't be doing a ton of that, even though that's actually a large part of my work, is looking at belief structures.
We haven't dived deep into that.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can go deep. We actually haven't brought that up a lot in this class.
And just so I know, I've got 3 hours, right? I'm joking. Okay, so because that's what it'll take. So just to give you a heads up, I created a process called Ignite. Okay, and it's an acronym. And so the first I is insight. And this is not what I'm going to go over, but just based on what Sarah just said, I want to give this understanding first. And I kind of coach like this. So stay with me. If there's any doubt or question, ask your question. Insight. What that means is, for me, is helping people to look in, just like it sounds, right? I love like the etymology of words. In sight. And when we can tune in, the deeper that we're able to go in, the better we're able to expand out. And so the very first module when I started working with people came through when I was living in a basement. My whole world had pretty much crumbled and collapsed. I was bankrupt, not figuratively. I literally claimed bankruptcy. I was living in a basement. The basement was like maybe a 6-foot ceiling, maybe. it might have been shorter than that because I'm only like 5'6", and I could almost touch it with my head. So let's say like it's like 5'10". So it's a drop ceiling. And there's mice running, through it at night. I can hear them. I know I'm breathing in whatever they're putting out.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was literally living in a basement, looked like a dungeon. 5 years prior to this was a house that I was really proud of that I helped my mom purchase. It was our first house. We got out of the ghetto and actually purchased this place together. And it was a finished basement, and then it just became literally like a mice and dust infested moldy basement when I moved back 5 years later when my life imploded. So living in this basement, completely depressed, bankrupt, alone. Me and my friends have separated and started going in different directions. So I felt like I literally had nobody. I was suicidal thoughts on a frequent basis, and I'm trying to turn my life around. And this was after having been a financial planner for 7 years.
Mm.
So it's like the idea of like the heart surgeon doing a bunch of coke and smoking cigarettes and drinking whiskey, right? I wasn't really taking my own medicine. And so about a year into this, of being in this place and just hating myself and my life, I heard this voice. I was doing a lot of reading and studying, but I wasn't really changing much in my life. And the voice said, your challenges are your greatest gifts. And I started teaching that principle. And I actually first had to start practicing it. Like, if my challenges really are my greatest gifts, then what does that mean? Right? Like, what does that mean on a deep level? What does that mean? How do I live from that place? How does this change my entire life? Where it's not just a cliche that everything happens for a reason, right? Because immediately we think, oh, everything happens for a reason. But the word reason is a thought that happens in the logical space, in the mind. And so if I can't make out the reason for this thing happening, because what possible reason would a child get sick? What possible reason would I lose my job when I work so much harder than half the people in the office? What possible reason? So forth, right? So we get stuck in the mind. So your child, like everything happens for a reason is actually a bit true, but still more limiting. So the stuff that I teach goes deeper and deeper into the soul contract level so that you can understand on a deeply soul level, why would I co-create this divine situation? Because everything is divine. Why would I co-create this divine situation for my highest evolution? Because that's exactly what the fuck is happening. No matter what it is. And so I started teaching myself this process called the thank you meditation. And what it's meant to do is two things: take you immediately out of resistance, of course, into gratitude. But as soon as the resistance is down, there's less of a kink in the hose energetically, right? Energy just wants to flow. Energy just wants to flow. Everything is vibrating and it just wants to do it as cleanly as possible. But if there's a kink in the hose, right, then it has an inability to do it as clearly and as effectively. Okay. And so when you stop the resistance of what it is that you believe is happening to you and that you're against in this thing, no matter how, they're difficult, and you're able to begin to say thank you, even if it's through tears and gritted teeth, then you stop the resistance. The second part of it is simply just to ask in a meditative and inquiry state, what is here for me? And that's really it. The process is kind of 5 steps. I teach people to do some deep breathing in order to get into a calm, centered state, to bring up the issue that they're battling with, to be able to look at it and see it as a gift, like see somebody actually putting it in a box and giving it to you as a gift. And when someone gives you a gift, what do you say? Looking at your lips. There you go. There you go. Oh, someone knows. That's so cool. Sign from lion. Okay. So you say thank you, and then you just sit in inquiry. What is here for me in this thing I think I'm fighting, or this person that I think did hurt me? I don't take away from the human reality of someone like hurt you physically, stole money, raped you. I mean, that's real. We're not pretending. But why on a soul contract level would my soul agree to this, even though my human is like, I would never? Of course, you would never. But your soul is just sitting back. It's like, it's fine. Remember, no matter what happened to you in a human form, on an energetic soul level, unsullied, clean, innocent, at complete, total peace with everyone and everything at all times, period, end of scenario. Your soul is just here learning. It's on a ride. It knows this is just a temporary now moment. It knows. It's not worried. It agreed. So why? So you sit in the inquiry of why. Now, when you're able to do that, all kinds of things can begin to open up. I mean, just miracles happen. I've seen people heal the most painful relationships and stop resisting in life and be more open to what then can come in. Okay. So anyway, that's the principal foundation. Then we go into grounding, which really is awareness. When you're truly grounded, you can have omni-awareness. That's what I talk about, is omni-awareness. Because right now, there is something going on inside of you as well as outside of you. Yes? Okay. There's something going on to the left of you as possibly to the right of you. Yes? Okay. Something going on above you, let's say in the sky, clouds are moving, birds are flying, and there's something going on below you. Yes? Worms, magma, hot magma in the Earth's core. So there's, she gets, you get all my references. I like it so far. You're so this is what's happening. Okay. And when the teachers I've had the blessing of sitting with are so grounded that they are with you 100%. And they're aware of fucking everything going on. It's incredible. That's having the eyes of God. That's omnipresence, omni-awareness. And that comes from being truly grounded, because you are here, grounded. Not there, nowhere else. Your body, and when you're grounded, your nervous system's relaxed. Oh, talk about unkinking the hose, right? Okay. Then it's navigation. That's when we explore all the past stuff that our parents kind of gifted us. Right? All the conditioning from the world, all the conditioning from school, all the conditioning mainly from our mother and father. And so I take you through navigating, because if you can't navigate what's yours and what's not yours, then your GPS is broken. So we use the word navigation. Then we go to integration, because if you can't integrate all of this and you can't actually live it, then you're doing a lot of learning and very little living. And I promise you the results will show, as they did in my life. So integration, amen, hallelujah. Integration actually goes into Byron Katie's work. I've been a student of hers. So I teach the process called the work. It's the process of inquiry. It's one of the most beautiful and perfect, simple processes I've ever seen to heal relationships and come into union with pure divine acceptance. And then I teach traction, which is beginning to architect your ideal life. That's how you get traction. You start to open up to the greater and grander vision. And now that we've done all this clearing from the past, the vision that you would create is very different than what if all of a sudden we just sat down and, what do you want? But you're still in the place of these former conditioning and beliefs and all of the restriction. What you want that's going to come through is going to come through validation. It's going to come through lack and sacrifice. It's going to come through neediness. It's going to come through your old stories. If we don't clear that out first, this is what I see with most programs. When I'm teaching, I don't know how not to clear the old shit first and come to a new level plateau so that now your view is up here instead of being down here. I don't know how not to do both. It's really challenging, because then I notice some of the best teachers and some of the best transformation can come when you give somebody something bite-sized, but I'm a fucking fire hose. I just don't know how not to be that. So anyway, traction is start to take you into navigation, because we cleared and now let's build, which is ideally what people come to you for anyway, right? So we start to get traction in life and architect. Well, what do you want? What does it look like? How does it feel? What are the easiest steps to help you move towards it? And I've got all these tools to do that. Then we go into expression. Last but not least is expression. And expression is just like it sounds. If you're thinking, you're expressing. If you're speaking, you're expressing. If you're moving and breathing, you're expressing. If you're on stage, you're expressing. If you're having a communication with your kids, you're expressing. If you're peeing and taking a dump, you're expressing. Everything is an expression of this God source that we are. And so how do you get to do that through pure divine aligned action? Now that you're integrated, now that you're clear of what your vision is, we now get to express it out into the world. So anyway, I'm just giving you that background because that's Ignite. And I thought through that process, and even just like seeing like, oh, I can move through where I was and move into where I'm going. And not, that there can be a process and I don't have to be afraid. And if you have any questions about this, let me know. But this is not actually what I came to teach. Ironically, it was just something Sara said that set it up to just give you this background. Okay. So I was a financial planner for 7 years, bankrupt. I went bankrupt, lived in a basement. I was going to kill myself. Then after finally realizing that the work I had already done with my coach, by the way, I already had a coach in the past, hundreds of books, had already begun going to seminars, wasn't living any of it. And then the light bulb went off. I'm going to learn less and do more. And more from the place of like, I'm inspired. I want to start taking inspired action. So I would start moving my body. I stopped eating the stuff that I was eating. I started putting focus into what I'm going to do. And the message came through. I'm going to be a coach. Everything I loved about being a financial planner is really coaching. It's really the aspect that I loved, is being with people and like coaching them. It was around their financial needs, but it was coaching. And then I looked at my life when I was a kid, and everyone always came to me without asking. I don't know why. They just, sole purpose, right? They came to me asking me like, hey, I'm having this difficulty with my girlfriend, and this kid tried to give me drugs. I remember I was 10 years old, or maybe 11 years old. And this best friend of mine, his older brother, tried to get him to smoke pot, or him and his friends. And he felt peer pressure, and he called me. What 12-year-old calls another 12-year-old? I don't know. It's just interesting. And my mom would come to me for advice without like, she'd vent on me, and I would give her advice, and it'd be like 8 years old. Like, it's going to be okay, Mom. And I love you. And I just remember like being in this like coaching mentality my whole life. So light bulb went off. I'm going to be a coach. This was 12 years ago. And I just started on this pathway. And so I went from being a B-boy, a battle MC, a graffiti artist, this kid in the hood whose whole life was expression, was like music, was dance, break dancer, a rapper. That was my whole life. Did that for a decade. I would compete up and down the East Coast, to then not wanting to go to school and just not knowing what to do in my life, living in the hood and just being in my bedroom 13 hours a day and having no direction and feeling lost at 19, to then stumbling into an insurance company, which led to me being a financial planner, which led to me depressed and bankrupt, which led to me being a coach. So now here we are today, and that's my background. Any thoughts, questions before I go on to actually what I came here to share? No? Cool. Maybe there's more people.
I just want to say it's so perfectly divine aligned that before you came on, I didn't know what we were going to talk about. And what channeled came through with a little bit of support of Leva last night was we started going over the patterns in our life as a child and what are the common things we've experienced or heard from people. And that is their homework this week, is to ask people their strengths, their weaknesses, and what they most commonly have taught them. And you just perfectly aligned that.
Cool. Very cool. Awesome. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. So a couple of things that I came here to share. Look, I got notes. Bet you didn't think I had notes. I got notes, bitch. So so I've been a master life coach and business coach for the last 12 years. Even though I behave like a crazy person, because I just decided I'm going to do it my way or the highway, and that's what I invite all of you to do. Do it your way. There's a lot of different ways to do things. The most important way is your way. So the first thing I came here to share that I felt I wanted to ask all of you a question. So if you're able to unmute yourself, you can. If you want to type it in the comments, you can. One quick question: where does money come from?
Where does money?
Cool. All right. So spirit, not from trees. Money goes where I desire. Okay, that's great. Not what I asked, but that's great. You're entertaining. Thank you. Haha. Awesome. So it comes from service. Oh, I like that one. Money is energy. True. These are all right. I am entertaining. So these are all right. All of these are right. So the answer is spirit. The answer is also other people's pockets, other people's accounts. So everything I teach, I do my best to teach from both the masculine and the feminine. Okay. I appreciate that I have an ego. I appreciate it. This is a tool that I use. It's fun to play this thing in this world. I don't have to kill it. Never agreed with that at any time. So I merge with my ego, and I just know who's really driving the bus, right? So on an ego level, and this being this human person doing this thing in the world, money comes from other people. I get to appreciate that. If any of you have to, desire to want to go higher with Sarah or myself or anyone, that there might be a cost for that. It's going to come out of your pocket. I get to respect that and appreciate that and acknowledge that and be someone who can honor that and do it in a way that feels good to you and I. That is the concrete, practical thing that we get to be okay with, right? And you are not my source. One of the things that helped me to untangle my connection with, I need to get this sale from you. And then all of a sudden I get nervous and I can't speak as well, or I feel even just a tinge of a desire to try and manipulate you, even if I'm actually in my heart coming from the best place, but I've got to say this word that someone gave me or this phrase that someone gave me so I can make you feel comfortable to convince you to work with me. If I notice if I'm doing that, then I'm probably not in real clear honoring of you and your soul and my soul. And I might be creating karma that I don't want to create. And so I get to honor that it comes from you, but also that you are not my source. So at the end of the day, if it doesn't come from you, I'm okay. I'm always okay. End of story, period, the end. My root chakra is very healthy and strong, right? Because even when there is no money, I know it would come, right? Is this racist? I'm sorry. I love them so much. I've been to India so many times. They usually love it when I do that, actually. Okay. You get it. You with me? Everyone with me so far?
You're keeping us entertained.
Okay, good. Everyone with me. You're learning though, right? Entertaining is learning. Yes. Okay, so cool. So the most important thing, it comes from source, and people are what you get to honor and appreciate and respect and work with, and they are not your source. Money comes from source. You are always provided if you trust that you are provided. Technically, nothing you have to do. And that brings me into the second point, which is connected to the first point. This is all one point, okay? Money comes from source. If you want to type that in the comments or continue to make your notes, feel free. The next thing to appreciate is money comes from people's pockets and wallets and bank accounts. We still get to appreciate that on a human practical level, right? Masculine, feminine. And most importantly, the key to what I'm sharing in this principle is that the world is imaginal. Everything is birthed out of the mind of creation. All is mind. 7 Hermetic principles in Kabbalah. All is mind. It is one of the 7 foundational principles of all of creation, and it is the first. And what is meant by all of mind is all is consciousness, all is conscious, all is spirit, all is this thing that we can't see or feel, but it is the field of which everything emanates out of. It is the creation of all. The reason why this is so important is because some of our greatest teachers, Einstein, Tesla, they basically would see and pretend and act out everything they wanted to experience in their real life in their mind first. They would imagine it first. Some of the greatest teachers like Florence Scovel Shin that I know Sarah shared with you.
Girls, you're all reading this, guys, girls. That's the book he's talking about, Game of Life.
All right, Game of Life, Florence Scovel Shin, right?
Yeah.
So, but also Neville Goddard was a teacher after her. She was more in, I think, the 1890s or so, maybe even sooner. I don't know how long she taught for. And then the same thing with Neville. He was like, I think, 1920 to like 1960 or so. Both of them wrote multiple books. I know Neville did lectures because it was when recordings were actually available, so you can actually hear him teaching and lecturing. And so Neville Goddard is another one. And all of these people teach using the power of your imagination, creating the world in your imagination, because that is the essence, that is God, essentially. Neville teaches that the mind, that your imagination is actually Christ consciousness. It is Christ. And then in parable form, you can read all about that idea, that principle in the Bible. He believes it was all parable. Now, regardless of religious belief, the idea is I'm just trying to express how important and powerful your imagination is. So this first principle is that all is mind. The world is imagination. And everything comes from source. That's the principle as a whole. And so I'm inviting you to spend more time in your day, concentrated, focused, purposeful effort, without efforting, focusing on the outcome that you truly desire, financially or otherwise, in your life, right? And see yourself living it. Allow yourself to be in that play, like the joy of it. And we know that feeling is really what allows us to vibrate at the same frequency of what we're wanting to call in, what we're desiring, what we're creating. That is actually what then appears in our physical reality externally. So the feeling vibration is the most important. So when you're practicing with the seeing it in the mind and putting this imaginary picture out there, which is actually real, because you can't, everything is happening. Everything is real. Whatever you're imagining is real. On some plane, it already exists. Because there is no past or future. There literally is only the now. That the past and future are both like vibrate, like you put a rock in the water and then it ripples out. That's all that's happening. There's just the now moment, and the past and future is actually rippling out at the same time. Everything that could ever happen has already happened. When you see this in your imagination, you living in that house, you with that partner, you spending that money, it's real. You get to be with it like it's fucking real. You're not pretending. Now, when you do that, when you're feeling something, I want you to notice that when you're actually feeling the vibration of success, I want someone, if you had all the money you could ever need or want right now, I'm inviting you to either say or type in the comments, what would be the feeling that you would have? Freedom. Is that the only feeling? Peace. Okay, cool. Okay, Zen, I stay with peace, but I still like the word Zen. Excitement. There you go. Someone's excited about having all the fucking money. Hello. Everyone's like, I would be Zen and peaceful. What? You give me $1 billion? I'm like, motherfucker. Ecstatic, grateful. Okay, so now you're getting the point, right? You don't just feel one thing. You'd most likely feel all of those things. So a good friend of mine who's an amazing kinesiologist teacher, she mapped this out. She recognized that when a person feels these things, you would actually have the feeling of gratitude, of freedom, of excitement, and of one other. And so what you do is when you have a vision in your mind, think about the end result, right? Like someone literally handing you the keys to that home. And all you have to do is practice receiving the keys, opening the door, receiving the keys, opening the door, take a look around, receive the keys, open the door, take a look around, receive, over, and until you feel it in every cell of your body. Before you start this process, write down, what would you feel if that was true? What would you feel? You'd feel home, you'd feel relaxed, you'd feel excited, you'd feel blown away that everything that you intended to have happen, that you just walked into your dream. Write that down, because that's the feeling that you're going to practice along as you're sitting there for your 5, 10, 20, however long meditation that you can. You know, I invite you, if you can do an hour a day, do an hour a day. Make life as easy for you as you possibly can. Build it in the imaginary world, and you will see, not only will you do a lot less, you might see through the veil and realize one day you're actually not doing anything. Now there's no space and time for that one right now, But just know it'll at the very least call in the things that you want and align you to your right action and put you in a beautiful space. It'll feel good. Yeah, it's just amazing how much we say we want things and we won't take this 5 minutes a day just to play in our imagination. All right, it's like the apple a day. It's so simple that we don't do it. So I just wanted to bring all of that home. Everything is imagined. The world is imaginal. I invite you to spend more time in that space. Money comes from source. So if you ever don't get it from someone or something, do not be afraid. Know that you are provided for. And when you really can live in that place, then the reality of that will be shown. It's inevitable. It's impossible because there's nothing else happening in the world. There is no out there. My mentor used to say, there's only in here. There's only in here, experiencing in here, pretending out there. Okay. So the next one I wanted to share with you is invest everything. Everything is an investment. This is really tricky at first, because we think we're spending money on a phone that we're buying. We think that we're spending money on our electrical bill. We think that we're spending time with a friend, right? And we're so used to spending. And I want to invite you to eliminate that word, or world, both, I guess. Invest. You are now only allowed to invest from here on out. So if you're with a friend, you are investing your time. And if you were to invest your time, is that a friend you want to be doing that with? If not, new friend. Or at least minimize your investment. Reduce your investment with that individual. Yes? Cool. Where are you spending your time? Where are you spending your health? You could still go to whatever fast food place you feel called if you get that craving. Just know, I'm investing here at Jack in the Box. Do I want to? Is this where I want to invest my health, my time, my money, my energy, right here, right now? You may still do it, but I promise you, if you just allow yourself to even have that thought, right? When you look at your meal and you know you're investing, maybe sometime in the future, even if you continue to choose to do that behavior, maybe sometime you look and you're like, no, I don't want to make that investment today. I'm going to invest in something better today. Everything is an investment. Your workouts, your energy, your time in nature. So I really want you to reframe spending to investing. You want to start to build wealth. Now, this brings me to my third and final point. Did I, oh, I'm glad, Sola. Thank you very much. I'm glad. I do too. I didn't even ask you how much time I actually had. I made a joke about the 3 hours, but did I have like an hour and a half? What do I have?
We're done in 20 minutes at 10:50. Yep.
Okay. 1 hour. Cool. Perfect. We're on our third and final point. I will do my best to do it in 20 minutes or less. Okay. Third and final point. Get practical. This is the aspect I really wanted to bring to the feminine. Yes, money is energy. Yes, it's manifestation. Yes, absolutely spend an hour, I don't care, 6 hours a day, just meditating on your vision, and spend 2 hours doing work. Continue to sharpen the saw so much that when you make that one cut is so sweet and so powerful that it's like a samurai sword through a finger. All you need is the one cut. All you need is the one action. All you need is the one thing that day. And it is so clear and focused. One of my highest masters I've ever sat with, her name, I won't go into all the detail, but it is a man embodying Narayani, the goddess Narayani. And this enlightened being or avatar or deity is in India. And I had the gift of sitting with this person. And long story short, she has the ability of calling material things out of the ether. And I got to watch this happen. And if it wasn't for listening to 20 years of this person's story from everyone who has been building this ashram with this person, I would have thought, oh, cool magic trick. David Blaine, awesome. They got, Magicians in India too. Yay. But when I saw what I saw and had already been in the energy of what I was in and heard what I heard, and I actually went back twice, by the way. This person, and he, she, I'll just say she. Yeah, that's what she. Her name is Sri Shakti Amma, not the hugging Saint Amma, another Amma. So Sri Shakti Amma can materialize things out of nothing. We all can, technically. He can do it. She can do it visually right in front of your face. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because that's the level of creation that is possible, and it's really what's happening. Okay, and so when this very high energy being called Narayani, this goddess, this ancient Hindu goddess, came into the form and body of this man at the age of 14, all she did was sit and meditate for days at a time. No food, no water. She would just go into these trances and just, I don't know, be gone, be in samadhi, be in just, in whatever. And then would wake up 3 days later, and there would just be people sitting there staring at her. And there'd be these offerings up to like eyeballs of like flowers that were put on her head. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because from that energy, right, of what he was creating and what he was singing and building, now we have 2 orphanages, a 500-bed hospital, a massive sustainable garden. I don't know how many temples. It's become an entire city. All that was built, and most of it gifted. They're giving cows away to help families support themselves. I mean, the amount of like blessing that comes from this being it's really incredible. How more of the world does not know about this? I do not know. I think it's coming. Yet he spent years doing nothing. And then when it all started happening, we're talking like within 5 years, there was a city and giving back millions to the community around. Really incredible. That's the power of working from that space. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So let's get practical now. Because for you and I, that balance of how much we spend in that space and then how much we get to, go to work or build our business or take care of our kids, that balance, we may not have that privilege at this stage, but we can still be working in a more effortless place with ease and grace. And so on the practical component, we still want to be focused and intentional with that aspect as well. And so here's what I mean. I'm going to give you a couple books that I would highly recommend you read if you want, if someone's like being a whatever, taking notes here for the group, you're welcome to put these down. One of them is called Payback Time. The book is called Payback Time. The other book is called Rule 1. Rule 1. Payback Time and Rule 1. The other one is called Soul of Money. Soul of Money. The soul. The other one is Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. Classic. Some head nods on that one. Cool. And then last but not least, True Wealth, True Self. True Wealth, True Self. And then also, of course, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So what these do is they give you practical application, but also mindset. So it's a combination of both. And of course, Soul of Money and True Wealth, True Self works with you on a soul level. So on a practical level, if you're not studying how money works, there's a mini series. And if Sarah remembers me, I can get the links to you folks. Wow. Thank you very much, Leva, for sharing, for typing those in there. Badass. So there's a mini series. It's a documentary series that's been on YouTube This gentleman's been building the series one episode at a time over the course of a decade. So the first one goes back to like 2012. And he's a gentleman who built the website goldandsilver.com. So primarily he sells and buys and trades gold and silver. He got into gold and silver. And he's been teaching this free education series about what money is, literally from the birth of when we were exchanging seashells on the seashore, like the fucking birth of money, to where we are now with crypto. And he documents it, explains it, tells you why it is the way it is, the federal agencies. It is one of the easiest and best educations on money I've ever seen. And it's just free. You just, some of the episodes are 30 minutes, some of them are an hour. I think it's about 30 minutes to an hour, and there's like 10 of them. And you can just watch them one after the other, and they're on YouTube. And they're fantastic. They're entertaining. They're easy. You could have your kids watch it and they would get it.
What is it called?
Great question. I don't know. I'll get you the link. I'll get you the link so that you can share with the group here. I have it saved in one of my playlists. And so I just always go to the first one, and I've watched it all the way through probably 3 times at this point. And I was a financial planner for 7 years teaching and I had licenses. Like but even for me, I was like, oh, I didn't know that. It's good. And here's the other thing I was going to give to you is knowing what you're investing. So having an investing plan. I say spending plan in this one circumstance because it's really a budget, but I hate the word budget because budget is restrictive. I never liked budget. I don't want to live on a budget. I want to be fucking free, filthy rich. I want to have, I don't want to have to budget. And it's not all about finance, just financial wealth, right? Abundance is abundance in your health and your mindset and your friends and your community. It's energetic. It's all around. It's just what we are. So I create what's called a spending plan. And here's how I do that. Here's the other practical thing I invite everyone to do. Okay. So I gave you books. I'm going to give you access to a video series if you like. And here's the third thing. Creating a spending plan in 3 categories. What I do is I go back to every single penny without exception that I have spent in the last 90 days. Okay. Without exception, every penny that I have spent, used, invested in the last 90 days, 3 months. I take, for example, it would be October, boom, September, August. And I allocate them and write them all out to the penny onto a sheet of paper. I personally write it out because if something happens in the brain when you're like, fuck, how much did I spend in donuts? Well, like there's something that happens in the brain. So I invite you to yellow pad this. Go through every account, every credit card, everything, and write it all out to the penny for each 3 months individually. Then add them up together and divide by 3. That's what your actual expenses are at this current time. I've seen so many people get this wrong. This was actually a tool I did when I was a financial planner, and I would work with clients and they would be like, oh my God, we found $1,000 because we had no clue where our money was actually going because the budget we were operating from was just from our basic expenses. When we looked at what was really happening, it was mind-blowing, right? So that's about getting honest with yourself. But then the next thing I want you to do is now, after you have that one column, I then put this on a spreadsheet, or you can use QuickBooks or whatever, but I put it on a spreadsheet and I say, okay, this is what my current reality is. And then you can make changes from there if you want to get rid of some stuff or add some stuff. Then I create what's called a silver plan. My current reality. Now I create a silver plan. And a silver plan is 20% more in every area that I want to grow. So I take all my expenses that are just fixed, that are going to stay the same, and I move them over. But then any place that I want to add, I want my kids to go to a better school. That's going to cost this. I want to be saving 20% more. I'm going to put it into this investment. I'm going to put that here. I'm going to add a line that's like investment. That's investing. And I also want to start saving specifically for a trip. And I'm going to put that in there. That's my trip. So it's the next step up in where you are going, that future that you are seeing and imagining and building. And then I create a gold column. And that is the end all be all that I can see and feel into my system as being a potential reality right now. And then that becomes kind of like a guidepost, right? I know what my reality is currently. I know where my next step is, and I know where I'm going. And it just invites you to stretch, to get creative, and just to be open to cool. I'm, right now, my bear is $5,000 a month, and it's about to be 15. Here we go. All right, cool. Okay. So that's what I wanted to give to you that would be really concrete and practical, along with the ephemeral and spiritual and, energetic on the front end, right? Yes, and. If we have time, I got something, a specific thing I wanted to share with all of you. If Sarah is okay with it, we might go just a couple minutes over. It'll be in the recording. If not, I can always come back and go into more detail with this thing.
The insurance.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes, please.
Okay.
People have to go, they go, but they get to watch the recording.
Okay. So can I share my screen?
Yes, you have to. Is he already have the ability, guys? No, he's not supposed to. In like 3, 2, 1.
Magic.
I co-host. You just give him the ability to share the screen.
Do you believe in magic? I
don't know words to songs. Any of them.
I don't know words.
Even listening to ones for 20 years, I saw. You figure out Alexa? No.
I'm still disabled.
You're co-host, so you should be able to let him. All right, I'm making co-host. You're co-host, Alice.
Oh. Okay. All right. Okay, so can you see this email right here? And my cursor doing dances. Yeah, cool. Awesome. Okay. All right. So I just had somebody send me this last night. This is Super Jane. Okay. Super Jane. Yeah. So Super Jane has this life insurance policy. Okay. Now, why life insurance? Okay. So when I was a financial planner, this was actually one of the primary things that I would teach. It was a system called MAP, macro asset allocation. Okay. And I would teach people not only where to put their money, meaning what would be risky, what would be moderate, what would be safe on where you're going to be investing your money, what would be taxable now, but not taxable later, and what would be not taxable now, but taxable later. Because you're looking at not only where is this asset, but you're also looking at how is it going to be taxed, right? In terms of Uncle Sam getting his or her share, okay? And so MAP was a great, simple way to explain this process. Now, one of my favorite tools in this process of macro asset allocation, of MAP, and looking at what would get taxed, be tax-free later or taxed later, and what would be safe versus risky. I really like this because this was something most people never knew existed and would not consider. And that was using life insurance as a tax advantageous tool for saving, but like a high level saving long term. I would show people how to use life insurance literally to fund their entire kids' college education, tax-free. I'll say that again.
Wow.
I would show people how to use life insurance to fund their college kids' entire education tax-free.
Wow.
So I'm going to show you a sample of that right now. Now, here's what used to be said back when, and it still is in the financial world, you'll still see a lot of people who say this. Life insurance is not an investment. It's the worst idea. You can get better returns fucking anywhere. They are correct. It is not an investment. in the same way that a stock portfolio is an investment, or investing in, gold or silver or commodities. It is a safe, high interest rate saving account. It can be in the right place. It is like a bond. It can have a really like low to moderate, but safe and consistent return. And then you can draw it out for yourself tax-free. Now, it depends on the type of life insurance. There's life insurance that's called universal life, which is literally invested in mutual funds, like in the market, like a 401k would be, or an IRA would be. Okay. And I wouldn't recommend that, not for this particular conversation. Then there's life insurance that's actually, it's just called temporary life. And it's literally like buying an auto policy on yourself. It pays out if you die, period, the end. It's the cheapest type of life insurance. You could pay it for like $20 a month. You'll have $100,000 policy. And if anything happens to you in the next 25 years, at least there's some money for your husband and your kids. I would sell $1 million policies for like $100 a month all the time. So that way their people's houses would be paid off and their kids could go to school and no one would starve if the breadwinner was not with us anymore. Things that people just don't consider. It's just the reality of life, practical. But if you can take a tool like that and also turn it into a saving account that can help fund your retirement tax-free, or help fund your next home tax-free, or fund your college kids, school tax-free, would you do it? Like, why wouldn't you utilize that tool and leverage it for all it can be as just one more piece in the pie, not the whole pie? I would tell people this is where you put 5 to 10% of your revenue, of your income. No more. The rest should go into like really growing your real estate portfolio, or it should go into like, Bitcoin or ETFs. So I can go into so many things that you can invest in. Right now, I actually like ETFs, exchange traded funds. It's not an NFT. ETFs have been around for like literally 20 years. It's like a mutual fund and a company stock had a baby. You can sell it and buy it like a stock. Cheap, quick, easy, but it has less risk because it's stretched over a group of companies like a mutual fund. So I love ETFs because you can get an ETF that is fully invested in gold mining or silver mining. And when the American dollar collapses, eventually it will go back to the only things that are really worth anything. The only thing that ever stays worth anything through the worst economic times is actual gold and silver. That everyone scrambles to things that are actually worth something when the play money that we've been using collapses. So the reason why I bring that up is because you can get an ETF. You can start, putting $10 a month, $20 a month, $100 a month into an ETF that's invested in gold or silver. Okay, so these are all just ideas, but here's the one I wanted to share with you, and then we're done. Okay, and I know we're right at time, so I'm going to make this short because I just want to give you the concept. If you're looking at this illustration, I know the numbers are a little bit small, but essentially what you're seeing here is you're seeing a person who's 36 years old. This is a healthy, non-smoking female who's 36 years old, and she's putting $2,000 a year, right? Not a ton of money, $2,000 a year into this $100,000 life insurance policy. So if nothing happens, there's always $100,000 to go to her kids, to her mom, to her friends, to her husband, to a charity. There's always this right here, this column, there's always that death benefit if it never gets to be used as the savings account that we're creating, okay? But because this person is overfunding, what's the word, Sarah? Overfunding. Because this person's overfunding the policy, there's an excess of cash above the needed amount for just the death benefit going into the savings account, the savings portion, because this is what's called whole life. What is it again?
Whole life.
Whole life. Cool. So this is called whole life insurance, and this is actually in a mutual company. So it's not a stock-based company. You and I cannot go buy this company. This company is mutually based. It owns only itself. And this one is the one I used to partner with, which is called New York Life. It is like one of the oldest, strongest, most financially liquid insurance companies on the planet. It is really the gold standard. Even though I left the company, the training, the people, the quality of the product still is one of the highest. And you can get things that are cheaper, that might even show you better numbers, but I just wanted to use this example because it's the one I like best, period, the end. So here, let me give you an example. We are now 16 years. You see where my cursor is? Can everyone see 16 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay,
Yes.
cool. We are now at 16 years. In this example, you're now 51. You've put in 33,000 into the account. But what you have is you have 36,000 in your tax-free savings account. Okay. And you still have a $108,000 policy. Right. So if you pass away, 108,000 now goes. So even the death benefit begins to grow. Not only is your savings growing, so is the death benefit. This is a really small example. Like I said, I would do this where people were peeling out 10, 20, 50 grand a year for their retirement or for their kids. Right. So you can make this look like anything. I just wanted this simple example for all of you real quick. So this is someone who, like, at the age of, let's say, 55, they can now take out an entire $53,000. Okay. They can take out the whole $53,000 and it's tax-free. You're basically taking a loan from your own life insurance policy. You can give it to your kid for their school. You can give it to their kid for their wedding, for their first home. You can give it to yourself for your next home, for a rental property that you're going to now be living on. And, you can, whatever you want, it's money, right? So when you do that, you just know that you reduce the death benefit. But just imagine you'll still have like $80,000 or $40,000, $50,000 worth of death benefit, plus $50,000 tax-free, and it'll continue to grow if you don't touch it.
If you pull it out, is there any recourse?
No taxes, no penalty, no, zero, nothing. It's just you taking a loan on your own policy, but loan from you.
Wow.
So the only payback is that death benefit, but the death benefit has grown, and you're also at a place probably where your kids are older, like you don't need as much death benefit anymore. This might even be your secondary policy where you used it only to save and you didn't even use it as the death benefit. So the death benefit is completely irrelevant to you in this particular circumstance.
And what is the interest of us doing this? Why would we not just keep it in our bank? They must give an interest.
Yeah, because it's basically depends on how well the company is doing. So this is why doing it with a really strong company you trust is the most important, right? So this is usually anywhere between the average that we saw from like the 140 years of this company existing was anywhere between 4.5 to 7%. Your current savings account in the bank is maybe 0.5%.
It's ridiculously low. Yes.
Yeah. So again, this is your own savings account. This is why it's like people like, if you tell this to somebody and they're like, oh, life insurance is a horrible investment, that's a dumb idea, you would never do that, my dad told me not to do that. That's because they were under the myth that was really popular in the 50s and 60s that life insurance is a bad investment. You should be buying temporary life. It's just a death benefit. Invest your money, you'll get a better return. But this is not a principle of investing. This is the safest savings plan that you can build tax-free to create your own bank for yourself.
What is it called? What is it called again? This type of life?
Whole life.
Whole life. And what is the name of this company?
This is New York Life. I chose New York Life, but there's a lot of great ones out there. Like the mutual companies are usually the best. You want a mutual company, so that means it's not a public company. It's not selling shares to stakeholders, which makes it a little bit more risky because they have to answer to the stakeholders, right? This one has no stakeholders to answer to. And you also want a company that's really cash rich, especially if it's an insurance company, because if the proverbial shit hits the fan and they have a whole ton of payouts, they have to still be able to exist and pay dividends. And so these dividends of a really solid company even in the worst times, is like 5%. There's no savings account paying 5%. And knowing that you're going to be able to draw the money out from yourself, not have to answer to anyone or anything, and pay zero taxes on it. And again, this is a small example. Like you can see these numbers like really take off. And this is an example where I had the person who ran this illustration, I had him pay off the account. So in 20 years, this account's completely paid off. You never have to put another dollar into it ever again, and it'll keep growing forever, right? So if you look at now we're in year 30, there's $83,000 in there. Your death benefit is $142,000. But notice how much you put in. It never changed. It maxed out. You never put in another dollar. And the cash almost doubled, and the death benefit continued to grow as well.
Powerful.
And now what I did is I had this guy just taking out like a random annual income. So now this money that you see coming out, $6,096 is all tax free. So this person's just choosing to take out that amount per year. Maybe that's like their taxes on their home, right? So the taxes on their home is completely taken off, and it's completely tax free.
Powerful. Do you have a link that you can share? We just Google that if we want to sign up.
Well, there's no sign up. You got to buy this through a licensed agent. So you got to have like an investment agent or an insurance agent that you would purchase this from. I could give you all the contact information of my friend Rob, who's in Connecticut. He's been doing this for 20 plus years. He's the person that I called to run this illustration because he got it, I needed to get it from someone who has the software, who's a licensed insurance agent. So I used to have all my licenses, but I let them lapse, basically, right? So when you're an investment insurance agent, you have to, just like a doctor, you've got to go back for continued education and keep your licenses fresh. But I knew when I left the industry, I wanted to like completely cut all cords, and I want to maintain licenses. So I can't sell this. You'd have to go to like an insurance agent. So if you don't have your own investment or insurance agent, you can start courting one, right? I recommend, like, I really like New York Life. They have an investment arm called Eagle Strategies. So you can find a good agent who has access to this stuff, but also has access to all securities and investments through Eagle Strategies. So you'd be working technically with like a very high level investor and retirement planner with New York Life through through their investment arm. And you can, there's a whole bunch of them here in Austin.
So you said it's called Eagle. Like, what do we look for? What is this?
You just look for like a New York Life agent or someone who works through Eagle Strategies. Eagle Strategies.
So an Eagle strategist would give you multiple different companies you could work with.
Yeah, well, essentially, what they're going to do is they may still use New York Life as the primary in terms of the insurance, but they have access to like mutual funds. They might have access to certain stocks, bonds. They can do like a full breadth of investing with you.
Amazing.
Like if you go to an insurance agent, they usually are just licensed to just sell insurance because you have to get different licenses.
Okay. So we would just Google Eagle Strategist.
Yeah, or New York Life agent, Eagle Strategist. Yeah, Eagle Strategist. I mean,
just if we wanted to go multiple.
Yeah,
routes.
you could say financial planner. I mean, you can work with anyone. I mean, really, it's like, it just depends on how much money you have and what type of investing you want to get. Like I wasn't a fee-based planner. I only got paid on commission. Some people are fee-based planners where they don't get paid a commission. They get paid a percentage on your portfolio. And that might be somebody who you might hire who's like an independent advisor. So you could even just Google financial advisor in my area and just start interviewing people that you like. In order to do this particular principle and strategy, you'd want to work with someone who was an Eagle strategist or worked at New York Life, because then they would have access to this specific tool that I'm showing you. Because like I said, a lot of investment principles, a lot of investors and like financial planners don't know about this principle. That's how rare it is. And even if they know about it, they don't necessarily believe in it or understand it or have the ability to run the numbers to have you pump out the most amount of money. So like if you wanted to work with Rob, I could just give you Rob's information and you can contact him and you can say like, I want to be able to take out 30 grand a month a year from this account in 15 years. And I specifically want 30 grand a month. And I wanted to, come out tax-free for 10 years. And so he can reverse engineer the strategy. You could say, I want $1 million in this account, and he'll figure out the exact dollar amount you have to put in and the proper death benefit amount, because the government makes sure that you don't put too much cash in these things, because you can hide money in these. So you can put more than what the required amount is, but not too much more. So he'll find the exact amount of death benefit and the exact amount of money that you're able to put in to meet the outcome you want, let's say like 10 years from now.
Amazing.
And there'll be almost exact numbers. Like, this is just an illustration. It won't be this exact number to the penny, but you'd be like, when I was at the company, I would look at illustrations that were like literally 100 years old. And the amount was like so on the money every time, because again, it's not a company that's invested in the market, and it's not a company that's selling shares to shareholders. So they are like really doing things in like a really safe, secure way. And that's how they can almost predict what that return is going to be year over year.
It's amazing. Can you either put it in chat or you text it to me when we hang up, and I can share with everyone his contact in case anybody.
Yeah, I can do that. It's
You can send it to me after.
okay.
Too.
Yeah, I'll send you Rob's contact if you want to talk to him. You can mention me. I'd even be willing to get on the, here's what I'll offer, just as a one-time offer and as a friend. If you felt you wanted to be, it would be more comfortable for you, I can get on the phone with you and Rob and do an actual introduction and explain anything that needs to be explained and help out. So just FYI. You can also just find yourself like a person local if you want to be face-to-face. That's fine. I actually tried to contact 2 women locally who were New York Life agents, and I left them voice messages. I sent them text messages. I even tried to walk into one of their offices. No one got back to me, so I had to call my old buddy Rob. Rob and I worked together for 5 years. He's been doing this for 20 years. He just opened up like a brand new office. Like he's a good guy, like a good heart. He's not into all of our woo-woo stuff, but he knows his shit.
Incredible. We're so grateful. Anybody else feeling this or have questions for Dallas before he goes?
I know that was a lot. I'll send you also the video, the link to the video series. So when you see video 1 to the money series in YouTube, in the description below the video is like the link to his like main page where you can go see video 2, 3, 4, 5, all of them. Great.
That's for the guy that did buy gold and silver.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
All right. And guys, I'm going to send you Dallas's Instagram if I didn't already. I know you guys have been tagged in his Instagram, but I'm going to send it to you. So if you have more questions for Dallas, want to play with him later, maybe go to any course that he launches. We're mini planning some things in the future.
See me on IG.
See him on IG. I've got it right now. I'm copying it and you guys are going to get it. Oh, I can't. I'm not on my phone. I'm on my laptop. Okay. You'll get it right when we hang up. Anybody have questions for Dallas before he goes?
My credit score was updated. I just got a text notice. Hopefully it's good.
Yeah. 900s, babe.
Thank you, Dallas. Love your energy. Thank you very much. Cool. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate all of you. I'm really grateful, Sarah. Thank you for letting me to be here to share. Thank you, everyone, for your attention and for playing. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Can we unmute and tell Dallas that we love him and see him?
Thank you, Dallas. We love you.
We love you and we're with you.
We love you. You can come here and say we love you with you. Oh, hold on. There's one more coming. 2 more.
I love you. I'm with you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, love.
Thank you.
Oh, one more.
Oh, you got hey.
All right. Bye, girls. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, Dallas. Bye.
Oh my gosh.